Hi guys, glory to Jesus Christ. I want to talk about cynicism and skepticism. You know, we live in a very skeptical age. And that's nothing new. Skepticism has been a huge problem in the human race for thousands of years. And it will continue to be a big problem until the end of time. But I think because we're so much more connected now than ever before, thanks to the internet, it can be very hard for people who have a little bit of faith and they would like to have more faith to find encouragement and to find support, prayerful support, that isn't just hokey and kind of crazy and off the deep end. Now, I know there's plenty of people that think I'm hokey and crazy off the deep end, so, take this for whatever it's worth or isn't worth. But I experienced something marvelous a couple days ago, and I'd like to share it with you, because I believe sometimes that when I see or hear or live through something, not only does it help me personally, but I think if I tell other people about it, maybe it would encourage them too. So here we are. Now, a couple days ago, actually, by this time, I guess it's about 2 weeks ago, but whatever, same difference. I witnessed a miracle. And it is a miracle that has been ongoing every day of every year for about 3 years now. And that is, there is an icon of the Virgin Mary of the Theotokos and the Infant Christ in Taylor, Pennsylvania. That's northeastern Pennsylvania. It's a little bit outside of Scranton. That has been streaming myrrh for 3 years. Now, what is myrrh? Well, myrrh is an oil. It was traditionally, this particular kind of myrrh, I don't know if it's always bright yellow or not, but from this particular icon, it's bright yellow oil that has an extremely floral, beautiful, almost a magnetic scent to it. And the scent changes. It changes day to day. And it also, the intensity changes. So sometimes you'll smell it, you'll open the door to this church, and it just kind of pours forth. And other times it's a little bit more subtle. But anyway, 3 years ago, on the eve of the feast of the protection of the Mother of God, this icon began to stream oil, myrrh. And it has been doing this for 3 years. Now, here's the thing, and this is why I want to talk about this icon as a lesson in skepticism. Okay. Can we be honest for a minute? I think no matter how strong your faith is, it's easy to hear about something like this or to see something like this and to go, maybe there's a little hoaxerton going on. Maybe somebody who thinks that they have good motivations. Maybe they've installed a little, oil pump in the back of this box or whatever, so that sure, it's streaming myrrh, but it's from, a bottle of Wesson oil that they have strapped to the back of this thing. That is a good concern to have, guys. That's good. Test the spirits, right? So we have to say, well, on the surface, this seems pretty amazing, but let's see what the deal is. Don't let anybody tell you're a bad Christian because you say, oh, well, let's investigate. Don't let anybody do that. That's malarkey. As a matter of fact, we're commanded to do that. Okay. The difference is skepticism, good. Cynicism, bad. What's the difference? Cynicism is, oh, well, yeah, that sounds pretty miraculous. That must be fake. So I'm taking my toys and going home without even looking into it. That's cynicism. It's being jaded. It's being not wise. No offense, cynics, but it's not a very smart thing to do. Because if you don't have an open mind, you might miss out on some pretty tremendous stuff. Doesn't mean believe everything you see, but it means don't write it off. Don't disbelieve everything you see either. Don't write it off until you've experienced it. Anyway. So about 2 weeks ago, I was at this musical workshop at an Orthodox monastery up in Pennsylvania, St. Egon's Orthodox Monastery and Theological Seminary. which is in South Canaan. And those of us who were participating in this workshop were given a special trip to this church in Taylor, Pennsylvania, where this icon resides. And I'd heard about this icon before. I'd had an opportunity to see it before, but I didn't take the opportunity because I knew that I was going to have this semi-private viewing coming up. So I'd like to tell you about it because it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, but believe it anyway. Okay. So I go to this church. It's I don't know, mid-sized Greek church. It's not huge. It's not a cathedral. It's not famous. Okay. So we go in and we sit down. And of course, if you've never been in an Orthodox church before, every single Orthodox church smells like incense because we use incense in all our services. So when you open the door, yes, there is a flood of fragrance. That's normal. But the minute I walked into this church, I could sense that there was something more going on. So we being the other participants, and I, walked into the church, we venerated the icons that were out, and then we just waited for the priest to come out with this icon of the Theotokos. Now, we're not allowed to photograph it, and they have asked us, this church, the priest, Father Mark, has asked us, please do not show the icon cards that you have of it on the internet, because they don't want it to be a spectacle, okay? If you want to go see this icon, if you want to go pray in front of it, every Wednesday night, there is a short prayer service said in front of this icon, and then you can go venerate it, you can receive some of the myrrh. So it's not a secret. You do not have to be Orthodox to go. You do not even have to be a Christian to go. But it's not a curiosity for, website hits. Anyway. So I'm looking around for this icon and I don't see it. And of course, then I realize, it's probably not out unless the priest is out with it. And of course, that's the case. So he comes out with this box, and I would say, how big was it? Maybe like this size. It's a little smaller than this, slightly. But it wasn't huge, and it wasn't little teeny tiny. So, this size, give or take. And it was in a wooden box with a front that was glass, bulletproof glass. And the box was about a little thicker than this, too. Okay. Now, all myrrh-streaming icons, at least they should be, kept in a box. They're kept in a box so that the myrrh does not just fall on the ground. So you can collect the myrrh. There's cotton batting that goes beneath the icon. The myrrh streams out, and then you can anoint people with the myrrh. You can give them a little piece of the cotton. So, of course, the question is, I want to look at that box. I want to look at the backside of it. I want to know are you trying to pull the wool over our eyes? What's the deal? Now, the minute this icon came out, I didn't doubt it. But I was still curious. And my thinking is, well, if it really is legitimate, the priest will have no problem taking it out of the box. Right? And guess what he did? He took it right out of the box. Before we even got a chance to even get a good look at it. He picked it up out of the box, and it was about, how thick was this icon? It was bigger than this. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. But not much. Maybe 2 thicknesses of this. Okay. So, he brings this icon out of the case. And it's just dripping. This myrrh. Dripping. And very carefully, he walks it around to each of us. There are about 50 of us there. And as the oil, of course, is dropping off of it, each of us, we held out our hands and we each got a drop of it. And this oil was hot. Like blood. Not scalding hot, but it was hot like blood. It was blood temperature. And so I get this drop of myrrh in my hands. And this warmth just radiates out from the drop to my palms and down, up my arms to my heart. It wasn't the first time I felt something like this, but just for whatever it's worth, y'all. This wasn't a hoax. And I hadn't even heard the full story yet. Saying just by the very act of just touching that one drop, I touched a miracle, right? Now, of course, the oil isn't holy because it's oil, because it smells good. It's holy because it's being miraculously delivered to us from God himself through his mother, the Theotokos. Remember that. We don't worship oil any more than we worship wood or worship incense or worship, beeswax candles or onion domes on churches. Of course not. No. But this is a constant miracle. It's been going on. It's about 2.5 hours from my house. Now, the stories of miraculous healing from this icon are unbelievable. For example, there was a man, and this was within the past 3 years, because this thing has only been streaming myrrh for about 3 years. There was a man who came to venerate the icon at one of the Wednesday night services, and he did not appear to be in ill health. He straight up died in the church. Okay. He just keeled over dead. And there are usually nurses and physicians that are there at the prayer services because they want to bring some of the myrrh to their patients. Especially, there's a big cancer hospital up there, so a lot of times they will come and they will take some of the cotton to their patients. So the priest is telling us this. They've got nurses, they've got doctors, and of course this guy's a priest and he's in his 50s, so he's seen people die. He's seen dead bodies, he's seen dying people, and he has actually seen people die. And he said, God is my witness, this man was dead. He was not breathing, his heart was not beating, dead. So, of course, the church erupts into hymns. That's so orthodox, isn't it? Rather than running around panicking, they just started singing memorial hymns. And then, of course, somebody called an ambulance, too. While all this is going on, of course, Father Mark goes and he gets the icon, he takes it out of the case, and he brings it over to where this gentleman is lying, deceased, on the floor. And he tilts the icon so that the myrrh runs off the icon and onto this guy's heart. Do you know where this is going? Of course you do. The minute it touched him, he went, and he started breathing again. And he started singing hymns. And you know the best part is? He wasn't Orthodox. He was singing Orthodox hymnography that he did not know. Because he had encountered the Mother of God. Can you believe that? And there was another story. I'm going to run out of time. I want to tell this story so badly, though. There was you know what? I'm going to make a second video. This is too important to try to cram in another minute. So I'm going to make a part 2. This was part 1. Thank you so much for watching. Please watch the second part. I'm going to try to put it up tonight or tomorrow. God bless you all. Thank you for staying subscribed even though I was off doing my own thing. Please keep praying for me. I will keep praying for you. I have so much exciting stuff to share. So God bless you all. I'll see you in a minute, okay? Toodles.